Welcome to How To with NADTC, where we tackle your big challenges in small doses. On today's episode, we're going to hear from Estella Hollander on how to develop a microtransit program. Estella is the mobility manager with Mountain Line in Flagstaff, Arizona. We're excited to have Estella join our series. Welcome, Estella.
My name is Estella Hollander, and I'm the mobility planner with Mountain Line in Flagstaff, Arizona. And I'm going to review how to develop a microtransit program. So first, I'll go over Mountain Line, which we are located in Flagstaff, Arizona, which is the northern part of Arizona. We have a population a little bit over 72,000, and we're home to Northern Arizona University, which has about 30,000 people, and we are considered a small urban community. Mountain Line is the transit authority for Northern Arizona, and we have a fixed route, paratransit, a subsidized taxi program, as well as a van pool program. We have 9 fixed routes, and pre-COVID provided about 2.5 million rides annually. First, for the objectives of Mountain Line Go, our main goals of this program, which is our microtransit program, is to utilize on-demand microtransit technology. We want to coordinate with our paratransit program, connect people to the broader transit system, as well as ensure the program was accessible, equitable, inclusive, and usable by the diverse populations in Flagstaff. So these really were the guiding principles throughout our planning process to develop this microtransit program. And so a little bit how microtransit works. The microtransit is a flexible real-time hailed program. So typically there might be an app or a calling option. There's also could be a web option where you can book a ride, similar to Uber and Lyft if you're familiar using that program. And it's flexible, meaning it's not like fixed route where there's maybe designated stops or it's only along a certain corridor. It tends to be kind of curb to curb or service, or even bus stop to bus stop service. And it utilizes emerging technology, meaning we tend to have partnerships with software providers to provide this on-demand technology. And it's an alternative solution to the big fixed route bus. So this can be a great option in areas where maybe fixed route just doesn't make sense, either due to the land use, maybe it's a low density area, or the road network, maybe it's in kind of a suburban neighborhood where there's a lot of cul-de-sacs, where it just makes it challenging to serve by fixed route. So this can be, again, a great alternative to serve an area where, again, maybe fixed route doesn't quite make sense. It can also be a great connector to fixed route. So again, maybe bringing people to a bus stop, or can sometimes be more cost effective compared to the fixed route bus. So there's a variety of different ways to incorporate microtransit into a community. And so in November of 2021, Mountain Line started a microtransit pilot in the Huntington Industrial Corridor. So this is an area in Flagstaff which has been an identified transit gap through a variety of different planning processes. And but it's a suburban industrial land use. You can see in the picture here, it's kind of low density area, not a very attractive kind of walkable area. There's a lack of sidewalks and crossings, but it's home to over 10 plus human service agencies. There's Northern Arizona largest homeless shelter. There's a food bank, dialysis center. There's a variety of different behavioral health clinics, a domestic violence shelter as well. So it's an area that's in need of mobility options, but just due to kind of the land use, as well as some of the physical barriers that kind of block access to the nearby transit, it's challenging to serve it by fixed route. So this area is actually in between. There's railroad tracks to the north, as well as Interstate 40 to the south. So again, just makes it challenging to access nearby transit. And so for the planning phase, we really wanted to incorporate inclusive planning practices. So we did form a steering committee that included older adults, people with disabilities, as well as some of the staff from the agencies, and as well as like our county representatives, our metropolitan planning organization. So had a great group of different people to help with the decision-making for this planning. So first step was understanding the corridor. We actually went to the different agencies in this area, did pop-up events, asked like people staying at the shelter, what are some of your barriers? What are some of your challenges in trying to access this area? So that was really a very important part in kind of understanding some of the challenges with this area. We also had a trade-off discussion. I think whenever you do microtransit planning, in terms of understanding kind of the size of the corridor, how much kind of frequency or wait times you might have, and then as well as defining the details. So what kind of determining the hours of days, how much the service should cost, that kind of thing. So that we had a variety of different inclusion activities to determine these different steps in the planning phase. And so our final program, called Mountain Line Go, was a commingled service with paratransit, meaning it's actually the same vehicle that's picking up both microtransit and paratransit clients. This really was something kind of new for Mountain Line and wanted to test out this ability. Our paratransit service had a lot of downtime, or times from maybe the last drop off to the next pickup. Sometimes it wouldn't have any rides for half an hour to an hour. So how can we better utilize these vehicles that are already out in the field? It is a first mile, last mile service, meaning it's really helping to bring people to the nearby fixed route. It also includes like our connection center, which has 3 different fixed route buses that connect there. Also includes Walmart. There's a housing authority as well. So kind of making sure we included areas that people are trying to get to. Fare was $1. This was determined by the steering committee. Our fixed route fare is $1.25, so it's a little bit cheaper, but so payment can be on board with cash. There is also a credit card through the app. We also did some partnerships providing free promo codes to the different agencies as well. And then you can book a ride either through the app, website, and calling option. And so with the implementation phase, some different components were marketing, the software procurement, testing the service prior to the start of the pilot, training, as well as kind of ongoing monitoring. And again, some of our inclusive activities are over on the side there, but we did have, for example, like 2 participants from the steering committee, which they had they were either an older adult or a person with disability. So part of the software procurement, making sure we found a software provider that was usable by the people we were trying to serve, testing as well. So people who, might use this service, making sure it worked for them, and then training. We did some travel training as well with some of the human service agencies. So some like the caseworkers, for example, making sure that they could help promote the program and maybe either book a ride on behalf of their client or maybe train their client how to use this service. So that was an important part of our marketing. And then ongoing monitoring as well, kind of determining some different success measures and kind of if this pilot could maybe become a permanent program. And so outcomes, in a little under 2 years, we provided over 2,500 trips. We did do a rider satisfaction survey during our pilot phase, and we received a 4.75 out of 5, which we thought was a success. And 63% of riders were older adults and or people with disabilities. So again, we wanted this to be a usable program by the people in this area. And so we felt like those were majority, so 63% was pretty high, which is great. And then specifically for the Flagstaff Shelter Services, which is the homeless shelter in this area, this is probably the largest trip generator in this area. So 25% of those trips are going to Walmart, 5% are going to the housing authority as well as the connection center. So wanting to make sure that we provided places for people from the shelter, we're trying to access kind of the greater part of Flagstaff and different services. And so continuing past the pilot, this pilot was grant funded for 8 months, and then on July 1st, 2022, became a permanent program. This is a large part due to the commingling. So again, having one vehicle with both paratransit and microtransit clients. So this cost is just a minimal additional cost. We actually didn't have to put out any additional or like dedicated service for the microtransit program. So we tend to have about 2 to 3 vehicles for our paratransit service, and they're actually able to meet the demand for the microtransit riders. So that was really one key part of how we're able to sustain this program past the pilot, because Mountain Line were pretty tapped with funding, I'm sure, as many agencies where we don't have any additional operating funds to kind of expand services. But again, through the commingling, we were able to just add this service and make the vehicles out there more efficient. So we're able to increase our trips per hour by 3%, and kind of an average of 2% of the trips are commingled, which is somewhat low, which means these microtransit trips are kind of filling in those gaps that I mentioned in the beginning. So kind of those areas from the last drop off to the first pickup, we're able to fill in that kind of dead space. And then lastly, some lessons learned. So really it's key to get some community champions. I think especially with this inclusive planning, get some people that, they understand the service, want to be part of the planning and implementation, because you definitely get a better product that is usable by the people that you're trying to serve by including these community champions. Inclusion takes time. It's sometimes, it's very easy to make a decision in a small room with a small group of people, but you don't always get the best results. So really include time in your schedule to get these key decision makers and community members together to make these decisions. Change is hard. I think whenever implementing a new program, a new software, so just making sure over communicating and getting people on board, make sure that they understand the goals of why we're making this new program, why we're changing the software. So that is just something that we didn't think about in the beginning. So just make sure that get everyone on board from the staff level to the operators to leadership throughout the whole process. Creative outreach. I think definitely we did a lot of boots on the ground service where we actually went to the corridor, passed out flyers, again, downloaded the app on people's phones, taught them how to book a ride. We did a lot of, kind of boots on the ground to try and get people making sure they're aware of this program. And then definitely increased oversight. Again, kind of monitoring this program, making sure with any time you do maybe have a new software that just making sure you have someone kind of monitoring it and making sure that it's working out the best for you and needing to make tweaks throughout. This was something where I think just a little bit more staff than we anticipated in terms of starting a new program. And so that is the end of this learning short. I hope you got some key takeaways and tidbits, and good luck on starting a microtransit in your community.
Thank you for watching this episode of How To with NADTC. We hope you found this information valuable and practical. Be sure to check out our other episodes in this series for more helpful tips.